today, and because I don't really have much time to play during the day today, but I really am hungry to practice a little bit while I have a tiny bit of time before I clean myself up and do a lot of my work stuff for today. I've got a very busy day, but yeah, I just want to let's try it out, see how everything is going, and let's take a look and see what rooms are available. But they would have passwords for those. Having a wonderful Sunday and have had a great weekend. My weekend's pretty good. I'll turn on the light even though I'm a mess right now. Well, let's see here. Alright, interesting. Rooms. Okay, flip mode's 10Q. No. Alright. Let's try rank then. Looks like everyone's very busy. It's expected. It's early December. This is a busy preparing for vacations, if they're gonna still do that, even though right now vacations are gonna be halted in a lot of places, you know, under the uncertainty of Omicron. Some people are at the CEO, so that affects our gaming community, and so, you know, I wish everybody good safety and good plays and good skill at CEO for today, if they're still in it. I saw that Genesis Effect went to Universal Studios Orlando, and that's a good one. Like, it's not that busy during this time of year. I've been there in the winter time. It's not so busy, but that's awesome because then you get to go do lots and lots of roller coasters and all the rides you want. Except for, you know, the only thing that's like super busy at this time is like Hogwarts. So let's try a few things. Okay, running away is not good in that situation. Good to know. This morning I played with, Admiring My Harley, which was awesome. And also awesome, but in a different way because it can be frustrating, was, I played against a player I played before, which was Muse-san, and they have a very interesting way of playing, and now to the point where when I first played them, I actually wondered if they were a bot, because they have a very strong script in their play. And so, but they're human. But they always communicate with chat preset chats, the prefix messages, and then they also they just, even more than me, they have strong scripts. I have scripts that I use when I think I can use a certain way to win a round, but this player and another player like Abu something on a wolf player, they have really strong scripts, and I think this is what I've heard is it's kind of like the Wi-Fi style. While the connection wasn't great, we had we had really good syncing, right? And that's when it looks like it's a good connection, but there are little tiny things that tell you this connection is not perfect, and so some things some inputs may drop, but mostly you're feeling a smooth experience, and that's where I think the netcode is able to it's like the predictions are working pretty well. But again, it was really hard to fight that style because their commitment is so loaded. They have this preset things, and it's okay, and it's so fast that's why I thought I was fighting like a bot, right? The thing that makes it feel like a bot is the fact that as soon as they recover, they're just doing all kinds of stuff, whether it's hit or whiff or blocked. It's just constant button pressing, right? But also how quickly the script is so strong that a lot of people fall for certain traps. Okay, it's gonna be hit throw. It's gonna be attack throw, but it's so done repeatedly, and it so follows the script strongly on terms of okay, the first Okizeme is gonna be this, and the second one's gonna be this, and so there's a couple ways of dealing with that. The way that if you're trying to preserve your normal as an offline virtual fighter type of play or reactive play against that, then you gotta lock them in frames and range, right? Because you try not to get into this, but it's better if you can do Yomi with it. But I'm actually not good at doing that as well as I'd like to admit. So that's what drives me nuts. Is I'm gonna have like if I'm not thinking, I'm gonna respond the same way every time. And so it is frustrating fighting this style, but I don't think it's wrong, right? I mean, look, they've got whatever connection they've got, and I know everybody wishes we could banish everyone that was on Wi-Fi, but I don't really think that way. I just think online's online. It's what it is. It's part of the game. But I do try to play as much as I can. I would like to play like other VF, the similar to an offline, because I just think that's better. But at the same time. You can see that I don't have muscle memory Akira combos. So right now I'm not even trying to focus on this. I'm just talking and moving my hands. And a lot of it's default wrong. With Akira, you actually have to be very active-minded a lot. Just because it's kind of a relentless pace, but you can also punish it. Leon actually should, against playing against a really strong Akira is a little different than playing against somebody that's developing their Akira. Just because, and that's not a bad thing, but you can use things like backdash, but you got to read it. But like a strong Akira might use super dashing elbow like a lot because of how powerful it is, and because like Akira's got like a flow chart that's like built around dash. That's just so powerful. But developing players don't really use that, right? They're going to use normal moves. So you actually play more normal VF against them. But I've seen them just commit so fast, yeah. Yeah, I'm just doing some quick practice. Did you want to play some, Ice Wizard? I definitely would like to feel how this arcade stick, this V5 mod is working with fighting against the pressure that you bring. Because right now I haven't had a ranked battle yet. This might not work against Akira. Yeah, that doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't work against Akira. So I have to do like. I got disconnected from ranked. I got disconnected from ranked. Experience. Awesome. Let's do a room. Let's do a public room, even though, I may hate that, but we'll see. I don't know how my connection will be. My children are using their tablets, but I would love to play with you always. So we'll set it to a 4-person room. That way you and I will get to play a lot. And be ready to join in now. And I'll leave the room ID is 24253. But yeah, so good to see you, Ice Wizard. I'm gonna try to get used to this new arcade stick. Or this new mod that I did to the Sanwa. It's awesome. I like it. But what I found so far, the mod that I'm using right now is a V5 mod. The pivot is stainless steel. The framing for everything is kind of awesome. I love Lao. The frame, the housing is like a nylon, and it's really good. But the actuator's a little larger. Hey, Harley, good to see you. I just woke up too. After doing a lot of late night work after we played, and then now, I slept, and then I woke up, and then I did a few work stuff, and then I jumped into VF. Because my kids are having fun with their free time.
Ready, go!
Oh, why did I do that? So yeah, the tricky thing about this mod though for me is getting used to that. Oops, wrong way again. Getting used to that, like under pressure, I'm gonna slam the wall because of the shorter distance. Like under pressure, I guess I slam the stick a little harder, and so that's been like a rude awakening. Because as long as I'm relaxed, this thing is like performing like a dream. But So right now I'm working on my evade confirmations and correct evasion against Leon. But that actually gives you a clue on how to really punish that too. That's my kid's. Sorry about this, Ice Wizard. That's like my kid's iPad for sure. It was really smooth until then, so I don't know if they just suddenly are watching 10 videos per second now. Sweet. Is it Harley in here? I hope it's Harley in here. But I know you haven't slept. Alright, we've got an awesome group though. Okay. I am sorry about that lag, Ice Wizard. That messed both you and me up. It made me push into the wall a little harder. And for you, I think I saw it cause you to hesitate. So, hey Spartan, how are you doing? I think it's been quite a while. You been doing well? Hope everyone's having a good Sunday.
Round one. Ready, go!
Look at that. My jab still hasn't come out. Okay, it was stuck in box now, so. Now everybody's like, Chanchai is the one with the online lag style after complaining about about these other guys this morning. I can at least do some reactive play in this lag, but it's really it's still like having to kind of predict it though. Like I think this is what's gonna happen. So, fun fact about the back turn kick, if they block it, it's like +2 for Leon. How I'm supposed to respond depends on the character, whether they have an 11 frame jab or a 12 frame jab. But even then, that's not always the correct thing. Like you got to do it based on what you actually think they're going to do, not just because of what's possible. That's like an important point about Virtua Fighter. Is you got to make choices based on what your opponent actually does, not based on what's theoretically the fastest all the time. But you should know what the default plan is, which is frame tight. Okay, frame tight should be your default play, but you need to make adjustments based on what your opponent actually does, because then otherwise you're missing opportunities you could have. And that's also why the Japanese don't mind, like. So Americans are afraid of doing moves that are punishable on block because they just assume that they should get punished every single time the same way by that. Japanese will do it and see if you punish, and if you don't punish, they'll keep using that move because that's a better reward risk mindset of playing, you know. But yeah, Burger King hotspot is us, yeah, but so it's an interesting thing. So when we're playing in America, you know, people are not going to show you those guard punishables. You know, and that's actually why I'm not like they'll give you like looks here and there, and that's kind of why I don't really have much practice punishing them in real matches until I fight Japanese players. Yeah, no. They do give a lot of looks of flip kicks though, so I still screw that up because I'm mashing because. Flip kicks put a huge amount of block stun, like a huge amount of stun on you, and because they put so much stun on you, if you input early, you're way before the input buffer, and so you screw up your punish because you tried to punish too early. Yeah. So that is a classic Kage pattern that I still lose to. Alright, evade to front. Alright, and evade this. So I can't evade on reaction on this connection, and that's okay. So let's take that out of the game and let's see if I can pressure. And he will block, so I need to throw more. Hey Tom, good to see you. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do a lot more like flowchart fighting with this connection because, and be very careful because my evade habit's gonna kill me. Yeah, try it.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Oh, I need to reread that. But yeah, any kind of use of that would be cool. Like, I love that move. He will always do back. So it is, yeah. I like that trick. I do like that trick though. So into 3P plus K. That is really cool. That's a cool setup. Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh. Yep, $9.99. Yep. I think it's totally worth it. I do. I don't. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm not expecting a netcode fix. It's just. It's more likely that the VF6 would happen. Alright, let's see. So, like, actually, our connection is good. So I need to remember that against Ice. Oh, just tapping down will screw you up. Good, good switch. Oh, I like that new feed. I like moving that many stickers to the side. So that site that here comes the booze. Alright. Crouch stagger's not gonna happen in this game either. I understand though, like like I do wanna sometimes I do wanna tell the new guys what it does mean. Like what crouch stagger changes or like what this game not having crouch stagger changes. So in this game crouching is really good, even in the Nitako. Like just in case like to mitigate mids. Like it's really good in this game to mitigate mids, but like that was really dangerous to do. Like you didn't want to crouch too long in other Virtua Fighter games because you would get staggered and you would be forced to play like you would be playing into a mixer game. It's like putting yourself in Nitaku in this game. And so in this game you want to crouch, but in the other games you didn't want to crouch. like you wanted to crouch only just to duck the throw, only just to duck the high. But if you crouched into a mid, you're just so effed. Or into an elbow. It makes elbow super strong. But you still can stagger out of it, and there's still a mind game that's played. So it is a cool mind game. But yeah. Yeah. So crouch stagger is cool, but in this game, I am convinced though that in this game, my issue with it would be just kind of like the power level. They decided to go with the high power level in this game, and so I think it's a little it's an issue there. All right, let's see what I can do here. All right, the connection's actually pretty good. I'm just not playing, and this guy is playing a very aggressive Vanessa. But I don't think they tech roll much, so I'm gonna have to punish them. We'll see if they suck. I like multiple throw escape, but I think it's overrated. But I think it's a really wonderful skill investment that you had in the VF4 and VF5 games. Alright, there is still lag, but I think the lag is coming from my family, not from him. Sorry, that. Oh, sorry if I didn't provide you a good conversation, Talon. Connection? I see. Yeah, this is, you know, I play mostly room matches, and as you guys know, I play during the late hours. I played, you know, and that was for, hey, thank you so much for the match. That was a nice Vanessa. Alright, we got Axel. Let's do this. Connection, okay. So this game you don't have multiple throw escape, but Virtua Fighter 3 started multiple throw escapes, but you can only do neutral and a direction on VF3. VF4 is when you can go all crazy with but keep in mind that in those VF games you had like 7 throw directions on some characters. Like you'd have like basically between 4, which is rare, or like 7, right? And Leon was a character that had like 7 throw escape directions. And in those games, you do multiple throws. Like your throw escape has to be timed. Like you cannot hold it down. This game you can hold it down. So this game we have that's the lazy throw escape we talk about, which is holding throw escape while guarding, right? And so you need to do that in this game. I mean, anytime that you would guard or be in recovery, you should have a throw escape held down in this game. But in classic VF, you actually you have the time to throw. So I think it's not as terrible as it sounds, but it is hard to know if you're doing it unless you were doing the training mode in the game. Like if you're playing in the arcade, it's kind of hard to know if you're actually doing the throw escape or not, because you could be doing the wrong throw escape and then lose, right? But in those games, VF4 through VF5 vanilla, you can do a lot, and through VF5 R2, because R still has multiple throw escapes. You could punch in so many throw escapes, but you had to be have good dexterity if you wanted to do like 4 directions plus neutral. Like that's Ryan Hart, and Ryan Hart's got godly input. So, yeah. But multiple throw escape, it's fun, but I knew so many people that would admire that VF had multiple throw escapes, but it was the reason they wouldn't even play the game. and I know, Tim could live without players like that, but for me, it just sucks when you're desperate for VF players and people just say, oh, it's so good, but it's too good for me. And you're like, that's such a crappy excuse, but we deal with that already with dating, so this lag is a little tough, but it's probably from my end. But so it's a lot that said, some of the things that help me in the Kage matchup, just remember that when he does his flying axe kick, his somersault kick, that he's +2, I think. And if he's +2, you need to prepare that he's probably gonna do a high jab or low jab. If he does a low jab, you can crush it. But a safer approach is actually just evade. But then he might try to throw you, so evade throw escape. Evade throw escape is probably solid. You could fuzzy guard, just manually tap down and guard and go back to neutral. But that's actually probably the best response. But but it's fun trying to crush Kage, so I like doing 8K. But 8K loses to Jab, so like he gets a free combo if it's that. Connection is not the worst, but I need to punish more. And that's throw punishable, so I should throw you. Like, I should be throwing after that. Yeah. Well, if you get thrown, I mean, like, so it changed. The tactics end up being similar in a way, where against like as Leon, I would do like sometimes if I really want to make sure that I was getting the throw and I wanted to accept lower damage, I would do more of like I would do like 9 P plus G throw, right? But that would encourage the opponent to Abare. So Abare is still a thing. It's just that it was less at the beginning of BF4 because of the theory, because of the dominant theory on how to play the game. Didn't really encourage Abare. But then by like middle of BF4, more players were doing Abare and kind of understanding, you know what? I don't have to play this like throw escape game. Like I don't like he can spend all his time doing multiple throw escape. I just have to attack him. Or I mean, or he can do like whatever throw he wants. I'm just gonna attack if I know that throw is what he's gonna do. You know. But that's the cool thing about VF is that they can invest the skill in ridiculous techniques, which is not just multiple throw escape. Multiple throw escape is a tip of the iceberg. It's like fuzzy guard. It's the thing you should do at a basics or can do at a basics, but there's more stuff beyond it. You know, and so the VF4 games had like ridiculous option selects that if you had really high skill and really invested in doing them, it was hard to assault you, but you still had openings. You know, and it's still true in this game. It's just that it's simpler, way simpler. And I know I'm not doing it justice, but I do think that ultimately, like, I don't think multiple throw escapes are coming back. You know, and I think because they are like a reason to not play the game for so many people. Yeah, no, Abare has always been core in VF, but Vanilla tried to like strike a balance. Like Vanilla VF5 Vanilla tried to give you okay, we're gonna curve Abare and we're gonna do it with throw clash. You know, because then like you have to really commit to Abare. Like you have to use very specific moves if you want to beat a throw. You know. And so technically in theory that means you're reading more, but at the time I didn't mind it because I play Leon. 4-4K as my anti-clash. Is like, okay, like 4-4K will beat throws, right? But and that's a staple move for me. So it just means that I have one more reason to use 4-4K, right? But I will say that once like I started playing Final Showdown, I did not miss throw clash whatsoever. I was kind of happy it was gone actually, but I was a defender of it because I enjoyed playing VF5 Vanilla and I still do. But it's just become that like I actually think it's my least favorite VF. But the single player package as a console game though, VF5 Vanilla is so awesome. I miss quest mode. I miss Evo is better, but it's still like, you know, I miss the single player features that were in VF4 Evo and in VF5 Vanilla. And the soundtrack for VF5 is actually good, right? So like, or I think the soundtrack for VF5 is good. The visuals are so good. I do think like some of the best art direction in the series was in VF5. But there is some stuff about VF5 that looks a little dated when you there's some stuff that's a little dated looking in VF5 when you look at like the animations. I think in this game are better, but the stills, like when you take a photo from VF5, it actually looks really good. VF5 still had like character sizes. Like this game, like okay, even though Jean looks like a giant, they tried to make like the characters a similar size. Whereas if you put like Leon versus like Jeffrey in like vanilla VF5, it's like it really is David and Goliath, you know. So, and the camera would show. So like this game looks like Jeffrey versus Wolf all the time, but in vanilla, like when you have like Sarah versus Leon, the camera's so zoomed out and they look so tiny on screen, you know. So that was an interesting design choice. I prefer the current. I prefer VF4 the most as far as jab speed and all that. But VF5 Vanilla had interesting where they made throws slower than the jabs. Yeah, and that changes the game a lot. That makes actually this game just has that like kind of feeling in the side turn game, but just a little bit, right? But in VF5 Vanilla, yeah, that's like normal, so it feels very different. And so like. That would actually, you know, help. Ah, I didn't do it. And I forced normal turn her. I'm experiencing lag here. I'm gonna go soon because I gotta get back to work. But I'll play this one and I'll have to go. But yeah, I am experiencing lag. I think it's from my end though. Like I said, my family is on digital entertainment right now. But Talon, what are we playing? I don't think we were. Yeah, learning mode was really cool. The thing that, yeah, learning mode was a cool AI, like that it would build scripts. But it works more for VF2 and VF3. I don't know about VF4. There's a lot of things that you would like it to learn to do, you know? Especially option selects. And I don't know if it would actually try to do those. It would probably try to do just moves, you know? But even then, that would be a cool AI. In Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, I do like the good game, Axel. In Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, I like learning special sparring, and that's because they weren't strong AIs, but each AI had a strong script, and you had to hack it. You had to kind of figure out what it wanted to do. There was a way to cheat that, and that is like you hold guard, and you just like I'll do one with Ice Wizard. You hold guard and you mash and you press like a button or direction, and it'll cause the AI to just do a move, and then you can kind of see what moves they like to do, what throws they like to do, and then you just escape those throws and you practice punishing those moves. So that was a cool thing about. That was a very cool thing about special sparring mode for me. Is like giving you a way with the AI to have a training dummy that's really a training dummy. And I'm not doing my new tacos. Let's see if I can do my stuff. Yeah, I'm not respecting frames. All right, now I know what to do. Yeah. Ethernet cable is important. I am connected by Ethernet. However, I have family using like I have kids that are streaming video and playing Roblox and Minecraft.
Excellent.
Sorry about that lag. Yeah, the lag hit us again.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Whichever one's like the gigabit. Probably Cat 7 though, right? Because Cat 6 is like the old 100, and Cat 7 is a gigabit. Maybe it's Cat 8. I don't know. Whatever it's like fast that you can get at like an office supply store. So something that Ice Wizard should know: if I evade and you backdash, you're still side turned. It's kind of funny that way, and so that's why you're getting crumpled. That is another. So that's a weakness about backdash we don't talk about.
Knockout.
So a weakness about backdash is that if you're side turn, it'll preserve side turn.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Yeah, Jackie has a lot of safety. A lot of opening him up is rough. You do have to really, like, you know, you are risking it when you're trying to punish his highs, but you're also like, but you have to take Nitaku whenever he gives it to you. Like, that's like one of the only openings. Or you also have to set him up to do those moves. Like you want to get Jackie to want to do the counter hit upper, but you want to backdash punish it for Leon. Or evade punish it for... Actually, evade punish for Leon is awesome for that. So, I am going to call it now because I need to get back to work. But I had a lot of fun with all of you. This chat's been awesome. I only skimmed the chat, so I'm sorry if my responses were not as direct to your points as it could have been. But I've been enjoying it a lot. Always fun having all of you in this chat. Good games, Ice Wizard. So again... I'm trying to think about... I don't want to over-prescribe. I know that, like, in my feel, I had a strong feel about how to fight you still today. But that's okay because you're learning. You're building lots and lots of skills. Let's make this point very clear about Virtua Fighter. Even this game, which is a streamlined modern Virtua Fighter, meaning it's not as crazy in-depth as VF4, right? And it doesn't have as many... little subtle details as even a VF5 vanilla. It's still a very in-depth game. There's still a lot of skills you have to build. Or not have to, but there's a lot of skills you build. And when you build skills, especially when you're learning them, you're not going to be performing as optimally, and you're going to be using a lot of focus to work on those. So you're going to have, like, your learning curve, it really goes up and down your performance. But while you're learning, but you are adding skills as you go, and this game is amazingly rewarding as you build those. So understand, nobody starts from perfect in Virtua Fighter. Everybody is building up, even in Ultimate Showdown, even in Final Showdown. Everyone's adding to their skills and learning how to reapply them. And a lot of times they get blown up in ways that surprise them when they build a new skill because they think I'm just automatically better when I have this new skill. But no, it's like, no, now you've just added more complexity to your game. So by using that skill, you've created a new opening, a new weakness, but you've also strengthened another dynamic. So you're just gonna have to, like, this game is very improvisational, and I think a lot of people get frustrated playing this game when they feel like it should be like a linear, like, I'm just getting better and better and better. It's like, you are, but it's really like this, right? Because as you add new skills, you're going to have to learn to cover new openings in your gameplay. And you're going to have to learn to consider new openings. And then later, you're going to learn how to put the pieces together to form a plan against your opponent. Some people like me that have played this game like a lot, we kind of form that plan in our hands. As opposed to, sometimes it's not even in our brains, it's just in our hands. It's like, okay, I think this is going to work, and I think this is going to work, and I think this will work against them. But sometimes, some players are very intellectual about it, and they go like, I know exactly what's going to work on this guy, right? And I'm not going to fall for stuff. So for me, I do fall for stuff for quite a bit because I do play more in my hands. I'm more of a feel player. But this game accommodates both. And Ice Wizard, you're playing awesome. You're playing really good. You're adjusting flowcharts. I think keep, just little bit by bit, add some moves. Try different stuff, which you are doing. And you're going to get some failures along the way while you do that, but it is going to contribute to a long-term strength. Be patient, hang in there as you have been. I've never seen you complain. Even when there was lag, you never complained, so I don't think you complain. But I just want you to know that I see that you keep getting stronger. And but if there's a theme right now, is that you've gotten very adept at, like, the quick moves and the moves that are up close. But start playing around with all kinds of moves. And this is a longer game, but when you add those, when you get better at figuring out where to use them, I think you're gonna see results eventually. But for a while, it might be tough. But but I do love like a lot of the quick decisions you do, a lot of like forcing me to guess, and if I didn't guess, I get killed. So keep that up, man. It's awesome playing with you. The biggest weakness right now in your game, though, it's not a weakness, but the thing I'm gonna keep trying to do against you, so you gotta on the side make a plan for it. I'm gonna evade to your back a lot because that's Leon's big weakness, is being evaded to the back. I don't want you to obsess over that. So right now you're doing it properly by not obsessing over it. Just keep it in mind, and sometimes the answer is not to half circular against it, but like what you've done, do a sweep, do a throw. Those two things are still probably the most powerful things you can do there. And like Tim has said, when you do a sweep, get used to setting the Okizeme position to apply pressure on the opponent that's getting up. And I think you are doing that too. The half circulars you can eventually add, so half circle forward punch is really good. If you eventually want to learn the side turn game, you know, I can try to spell the side turn game out for you, but it's such a fun part of the game. It is a deeper part, but Leon is so scary, and I think in the long run, if you do eventually master the side turn game, your Leon is going to be even more ferocious and really devastating because of how much pressure you put on the opponent, because you're locking them into a disadvantage, and because Leon has really good tools. You know, I used to think Leon might have the best side turn. Now I think, okay, he might not be S, but he's probably an A tier. Like, he's really strong, but it's so terrifying when you see someone like, you know, again, we're talking about triple S level players, someone like Himajan or a Deniso 201, what they do with side turn with John is so terrifying. But I think Leon has such an amazing side turn game too. So yeah. So Leon has so many good tools. The side turn, it's just that his damage is conditional, but you can make those conditions. He likes counter hit. He likes side turn. He likes spacing. You know, his whiff punish is okay. His Nitaku is good enough that you can Nitaku. But he's got a full set of tools. The more you know VF, the more Leon is such a fun character to work with. And I think he's actually a very well-balanced character in this game. But he is very strong. Jimmy says he's broken. Yeah. So Talon, the side turn is hard to... I couldn't tell you exactly. Like, it's just watch Deniso 201, watch Himajan, watch what they do off of evades, because a lot of times they have to create the side turn with an evade. But once they do that, they do a lot of stuff to really mess the opponent up, and it's really scary. But it is very aggressive. It's a very different style of play than the way that you usually play your genre. So yeah, I think Leon's really fun. I hope to fight your other characters sometimes, Ice Wizard, but I love fighting your Leon, and like your Leon has gotten very, very strong. A lot of times I have to fight you at like mid to long range is where I have to fight you, but you are relentless at close range. So I love it. Keep it up, and let's spar some more soon. Yeah, thank you guys very much. I'm gonna clean up and go to work, but have a wonderful Sunday. And tomorrow I might have a surprise for you guys, so be on the lookout around your lunchtime tomorrow. Alright, cheers. Let's see here. Not do that yet. Let's read. Bless you again? Wow. Okay, Bless you is on the same time as me again. That's what happens when I come on this early. Let's raid Blessy once again. And Jimmy, awesome to see you. Thank you very much.